It's a it's a skill, and it's not a muscle. It's like it's an innate thing that I guess part of you is born with. Some of it's got to be memory, focus, concentration, the ability to block everything out and go up and do what you're prepared to do.
Yeah,
I envy it.
absolutely. How about Huckabee?
Mike Huckabee?
No, his
Oh,
daughter.
oh, yes, Sarah.
Oh, oh my God. So for you of those out there that haven't got this tidbit yet, but she goes down as my cracker of the month. She actually is she's saying if you don't know, she's the governor of fine state of Arkansas, and she's basically wanting to stop them from getting credit for Black History courses towards their graduation. And she's saying that they're basically doing by teaching Black history is they're making the whites hate. They're just basically it's causing hatred, and not that the fact that the Arkansas Nine just so happened to be in Little Rock at the Central High School in 1957, I believe, when 9 Black students decided they were going to go to an all-white school, and the National Guard had to
Mhm.
basically walk them uh, in. But that you can't teach that, because number one, it's in your state, and it makes you look like shit anyway. And I'm just curious to when we, as a country, realize that Black history is
It's
our
U.S. history.
history.
It's U.S. history.
There's
It's
yeah,
all
if,
U.S. history.
just because the people that are depicted or spoke of are of a certain heritage, or in this case, they happen to be Black. I mean, it doesn't, but they're not allowed to have a place, and you know, I mean, but then again, so many of those were able to get some really fine.
Skills, life
Well, I
skills.
mean, yeah, later on in life, blacksmith, because everybody knows that man's origin is African. I'm sure they didn't have any kind of blacksmith going on before they were taking slaves and putting boats. So yeah, just but when you speak like that and you're that ignorant and you actually got voted into that state, it's just like fuck, man. I'm sorry, but Biden at this point right now should be spending some of that money that he put in uh, for a bypass. Just the Arkansas bypass. It should be like some way you can drive over that fucking state
Oh,
and not
never actually hit the
never. Yeah,
state.
just
Yeah,
there's no exits. There's just it's like Massachusetts. They got a couple of those fucking pizza joints and a in a fucking gas station on the fucking on the freeway or the
it's in the
turnpikes.
new. It's in the infrastructure bill. I think that's
I
going to
think it
be
might
coming up.
be,
But that
but
was a whole thing. There was a movement in red states um, to limit how much history that made the founding fathers or an aspect of American history look bad. And there's a totality to every story, and it's I think it's just let's not be. I learned a very different history. You learned a very different history, probably in public schools in Detroit when you went to school in the whatever it was the 60s. I don't know, but there was the omission. I mean, we learned about Columbus and his friends coming here and having some dinner with the Indians, and that's where it began and ended in the textbooks. So we can learn the totality of history. Germany's a very good example for how they handled. I mean, was there anything more nefarious in history than the goddamn Holocaust? Um, and they teach it. They own up to it. The swastika is illegal
But making a strong comeback.
here. It's
No.
still in Germany.
Yeah. Yes. 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 That's
Okay.
that's 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 worldwide.
They weren't just trying to. I know people like American culture, and they just weren't watching TV on January 6th and decided that they were now going to do
No,
it. This was
there's
independent thought.
this is a situation that's anti-Semit. I mean, it's across the globe.
Mm. The anti-Semitism. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but so Germany made it policy to make it illegal and to teach it and own up to it. And I remember when I was working for Bankers Trust across the street from the Trade Center, which was an investment bank, and we were bought by Deutsche Bank. And there was a whole meeting where, when they were buying us, the representatives, whoever the fuck it was, that came over for the meeting, was like, we have to disclose our entire history. And they were a bank for
Nazi
Nazis.
Germany.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're a
Some of the
bank if
fucking
you're
gold is in people's
yeah,
teeth that were in the vaults.
yeah, but exactly though. But if you were a bank in Nazi Germany and they were that was the Reich, they were in charge. I mean, it's just
Yeah. So you don't hide from that stuff, but there's a way to handle it.
it was so funny when I went to Detroit and we were staying at the Pontchartrain Hotel, and a couple of people said to me like, "Where did they come up with that name?" I said, "You," and I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, because you didn't grow up." I said, "There used to be a fort here, and Cadillac, was a huge fur trading, and Fort Pontchartrain was, that was like the basically Detroit before, that was Fort Detroit basically, but it was called Fort Pontchartrain." And I said, then in 1902 they built the Pontchartrain Hotel on top of this. Then they tore it down. They built what we're in now. And they're like, "How do you know that?" And I said, "Well, besides the fact that fucking they had the history of the hotel right next to the elevators," I said, "We had like probably from second, third, fourth, and fifth grade was you were taught Michigan history, you know, and then sixth, seventh, you were starting to get American. Then by the time you got into high school, you start getting world history." I'm just thinking like, wow, like it's not like shit's not even taught anymore. Like people don't know anything. And my wife and I had this discussion, and I want to get your input on this. So if I um say the Arkansas Nine, and I bring that up in the discussion, and they say, we're not going to talk about that. And I have a phone and I have a Google. I'm going to find out what the Arkansas Nine is. Like you can ban all the books you want, but you're there's if you want to find information out there, you can find information out there. So to anybody that's out there that maybe young, maybe they've got racist parents, and they're not allowed to have that discussion. You can always go in your room and you can look up whatever you want to. You can look up Black history. You can